At a young age, when did you realize people's response to your singing and like getting preferential treatment for your ability to sing?
I don't know if I had a life outside of just wanting to record some songs and hear my voice on the radio. Because I never went into it with the intention of making money. I didn't know anything about money and business of music. That wasn't my thing. We were just excited to hear Ernest and Peter mash up the place. I come from Clarendon. And I am dear friends. And them say I can sing. And them bring me come a town. So I wanted to sing too. And I can hear myself on radio. The struggle wasn't easy, but that was my focus. I never done anything because my main mission leaving country was to help my mother. Because my mother have 8 children, 4 boys, 4 girls. I'm the youngest. And I didn't see how she was going to work out, taking care of everybody. So I wanted to do something to try and help her. And that was my motivation until this day. It still was my motivation. And I think I accomplished that because my mom lived with me before she passed. And that's the main thing. I wanted to give her a comfortable life before she passed. And I think I achieved that. And my stepfather also.
When did you decide to join 12 Tribes of Israel?
It was my growing up. I think when I saw 12 Tribe, I saw myself, the way I grew up, my thinking, the people I want to be around. Because yes, at a point, nice young kid, you start to have afro and wear barefoot pants, and you can easily get involved with a different society of people now because we're there on the bandstand every night now and we're getting some popularity. But in my heart, I was more for the struggle and the grassroots people that I am a part of. And I never lose that focus because I remember where I was coming from. Like I explained to you, we had dirt floor, no tile, no nothing. So it's kind of hard to erase or to forget those things because that's where you're coming from and you have to remember that. And while you move up in life, you still have to remember where you were and where you are today and where you really want to go. So that was my groundation. And when I met 12 Tribe, they were saying everything that I wanted to hear about Africa's imperial majesty, repatriation, and all of that. So I got sucked into that real time. Started to learn how to read my Bible 1 chapter a day. That was introduced to me by 12 Tribes of Israel. That to read the Bible 1 chapter a day, you will get the best understanding ever. Because some people read the Bible, but just race through it like some regular novel. And to me, to get the full and true understanding is to take it in strides. So we were taught to read our Bible 1 chapter a day from Genesis 1 to Revelation 22. 3 years, 2 months, and 4 days it took me noting the Bible every day, every chapter. And when I first read my Bible from a King James version, I learned some stuff, but nothing compared to what's there for me to learn. So I had to go over it a second time with another King James Version Bible. And I read through, and as you're going through it, you start to understand some things that you read before, and you start to put things together. And you say, oh, okay, this is what that was. But then my third time, I wanted to do something different. So I was introduced to a Bible called the Schofield Reference Bible. And the Schofield is really like a movie. It has references, and it has footnotes at the bottom. So when you read something that you didn't understand, like for example, I was reading through and I'm reading Ezekiel was in the land of Magog, or some people pronounce it Magog. I wanted to know what was Magog. So reading my original King James Version, it didn't give reference or footnotes. So you don't understand. You just, the word Magog is there, but what is Magog? So with the Schofield Reference Bible, like C would send you to a footnote down the bottom and it would explain, which to me is a plane. Him see the bird that fly and say, one day, man go and make something that can carry people, will fly like a bird, and lo and behold, we come see Iron Bird today, which is a plane. So just stuff like that. And it explained other things that I didn't understand reading from the original versions. The Schofield reference really explained a lot and broke it down easily like a movie. And that's where I started to get the ultra knowledge of what I was reading. And then, and that was my third time. So now I start to put what I read in context with world affairs and what was happening in front of me. And that's how I was able to navigate through it. And looking at what is happening, even now the war in Russia, with Russia and the Ukraine. I understand it because I read my book and saw what led to this conflict. So it's wisdom in His Majesty say, we in Ethiopia have one of the oldest versions of the Bible, but however old the version may be, and in whatever language it might be written, the word remains one and the same. It transcends all boundaries of empires and all conception of race. It is eternal.
All right, 2 questions. Right? First, when you started the locks, what was the response from the family?
People used to, well, them never really beat me too hard, but people used to show disappointment. Like a nice looking guy like you, and look how you're afro nice and everything, and then I'll have a look what you're doing to yourself, that kind of thing. And it bothered me. Because I'm like, what am I doing to myself? I'm not doing nothing to myself. I don't feel for call me here anymore. What am I doing to myself? And
what was your mother's response?
no, my mother never had anything to do with it. From the time I came to Kingston, my mother and my stepfather, and there was no opposition. I guess they just wish me well, and my mom know the kind of person I was too, and she was just hoping that I wouldn't get myself involved in badness going to Kingston. But that was my thought process. My thought process was to become successful so I could help my family. So that was my focus. But people used to show disappointment and disapproval in ways that bothered me. Like, look at this nice guy, and so I said to myself, so because I grow my hair, I'm not nice anymore, those realities started to set into me, and that made me become more vigilant in wanting to grow my hair, because I knew I was doing something right and legal. Why would you have opposition? Why would you not like me anymore because I choose to grow my hair? It's me, it's the same kid, where you say I have a nice voice and can sing. So this is me.
Right.
So I'm struggle through them era there and understand the thing and just be myself and fight the fight and go through. Now it's different. You know, when I was signed to Polydor, I'm gonna take my picture of them and I'm a nice, pretty suit and thing. Enough old people in Jamaica, I could credit myself and Dennis Brown for some things there. Whereas a lot of people in Jamaica never took to Bob Marley because I'm a Rasta, smoke weed and all of that. Weed which is now legal. The amount of people that smoke weed now, ridiculous. But them used to bash us for smoking weed, yeah? It was when Dennis Brown and myself started to go out there and, you know, we're perform all over the place and people say we're dressed wonderful in our suit and clean and, you know, you have some old people that say, boy, you know, I don't really like Rasta, you know, but I love him. I love the way he carry himself. But we understood it because we are children of His Imperial Majesty and we are represent. Yeah, I represent my father. When me look at my father, nobody wears suit like him. Nobody fit in clothes like the king. Nobody wear the most quality material than the king. So that was part of my motivation. I go and make my light shine so you can see my good work and glorify my father when me I praise. You disappointed in me growing my hair? I go and show you why me I do it. So we break those barriers down and bring the fact to people that, yeah, man, it's us, not different. So we look clean and we represent our country and we represent the music. So people just become accustomed to that and then the love for us start to grow and we fight our way through until we are where we are.
Studio reasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know you have 12 Tribe, you have Nyahbinghi, you have Bible, you have no Bible. Tell me about some of the reasons you experienced in regards to that.
Over the many years, there has been conflict in terms of the different houses. Minor conflicts, I would say. But we learn to overcome those things because His Imperial Majesty asks us, not 12 Tribe, or Bingi or Bobo or after that, asks us, those of us who know and love Him, to organize and centralize and to fulfill the role of repatriating ourselves to the land that He gave us in Ethiopia. So we used to pay 25 cents a week as 12 Tribe members, and those are the funds that we managed to put together and send a number of persons to Ethiopia. And I personally have gone to Ethiopia myself and witnessed with my own eyes the community that we've sent there. And it's a wonderful thing. We could have done more, should have done more, and I wish we did more, but the fact is that we did what we could and we fulfilled our role in terms of repatriating people. And it's still open and people are still going. People are doing so on their own today as well. But we started that mission because that's one of the things that His Majesty had asked us to do.
I wanted to ask, 12 Tribes seem like a very strong organization.
Yes.
Everything has its faults, but a lot of stuff. When did the decline take place?
I think the decline came when, I think the leader of the organization started to lose focus. For some reason, sometimes people think, well, I am the person, I did this. And so, people start to lose focus and some move on to other things. And I experienced a lot of things, some of which I don't think I wish to speak publicly on just now, because I write my book, My Life and Reggae's History, and some of these things I'm reserving for my book. But that's a really important question. I think sometimes when we start to become progressive, we start to lose focus. And I saw that in the organization which I'm a part of. And the focus started to shift to other things where it should be more focused on the core things that we had set out for. And some of the things is like, to be honest, womanizing and, we start to see infightings and all of that kind of stuff. And it started to push people away and people start to become resentful and a bunch of other stuff happened and then it just disintegrated into what it became. But the organization is still strong. It's still functioning worldwide. And we have many brothers and sisters who understand the work. And we still stay strong together and still try to do what we can do based on our commitment to His Imperial Majesty and the African diaspora and our family.
Well, let me hear you say mountain, mountain, mountain. No